Hi, I'm Simon and welcome to my little corner of the internet. Now there's a saying, buy cheap, buy twice. But there's a limit to these sort of things, isn't there? Which is why we don't all drive around in Rolls Royces. And with the emphasis on the word cheap, I thought I would revisit my Yihua desoldering station. I've had it now for around 6 months, and in that 6 months, it's had quite a lot of use. And by quite a lot of use, I mean probably 3 to 4 hours a week on average. So I thought, why not put it through its paces, see how it's still performing, and let you know my experiences, and see if it's still the good buy that I said it was when I did my unboxing video. First thing I think is, to make it fair, I need to give it a really good clean. So I'm going to try the gun out on this dead Spectrum board, and I thought it'd be a good test to see if we can get this ULA socket out. This will be the original solder on it. What I'm not going to do, I'm not going to apply any solder to it. I'm going to see how it goes with what it's got with a 40-year-old solder on, see how it performs with that. So let's give it a try. Now that went pretty easy. And the good thing as well is there's absolutely zero damage to the board. There's no lifted traces. Everything is just as you would hope it would be, which is excellent. And doing that, I had the desolder station set to 420. It's got a usable range of 380 to 480, which is easy enough to select. Yeah. I'll put it back to 420 before I forget, because it does remember what it was last set to, which is good. Now 420 sounds quite high. It certainly would be if you were soldering, but that isn't the case for a desoldering gun, where from what I can gather, temperatures do tend to be set higher. Now the temperature you'll set will obviously depend on what it is that you're doing. You might want it a bit lower or whatever, but that works for me in the vast majority of the stuff that I'm doing, and it works nicely and gets good results pretty much first time, every time. I'll just show you a nifty little feature of the gun, this little eye hole there with the blue showing. Now if I pull the trigger, you'll see it doesn't move. And what will happen is, as you lose suction, as it gets blocked up inside, or there's a blockage in the heating element itself, what it'll do is it'll pull that through and show red, which is quite handy. And as you can see, it's done 40 holes and it's not budging slightly. If I just stick a cleaning rod in the end of it and pull the trigger, now it'll be quite blocked. And you see it goes to red. It'll slowly return as it loses vacuum. So it's really handy to know when the gun needs cleaning, which I like. That's good. And obviously, as alluded to before, when you finish your job, you really, really do need to give the gun a good clean out. If you don't, you'll regret it, because it'll just mean that the next time you come to it, it's not going to perform well. And I know that from experience. So do make sure you give it a clean. But one thing that I've seen on the internet, seeing similar videos on this, is people complain that the solder collection tube is really difficult to remove. And this gun, I think, is similar, if not identical, to one made by Yihua. And I just have to disagree. I find it can be, I suppose, fiddly, because you've got all the little bits inside that need to be cleaned and then put back together. But I actually find getting it apart to be really simple and straightforward. So even though it's in use and it's hot, it's just a case of lifting it out. And the only thing to watch for is, you can see, I'll just be careful because it'll be hot, is that little washer in there. But there's nothing complicated or difficult about getting that tube out. So let's see how much solder we've collected. I think it will all be pretty much stuck in the spring, which it is. The solder comes shooting down the spring, hits the back plate, and then cools down quickly. And I don't know if you can see in there, which may prove to be very difficult, but it's all stuck in the end there. So the easiest thing I find to do is just get my soldering iron with a conical tip on it that's narrow enough to fit in the end, and starting to clear it. You will need to watch your fingers because it does get really hot, and that may be enough to just start to release things. As you can see, we've got a bit of residue on the tube. That'll need a bit of a clean. And the filter, I'm just going to leave in the bottom there. That's not that bad. You know when it gets bad because the gun will start to struggle to suck. So it's just a case of putting it all back together, which is simple enough. A really important consideration with anything like this is spare parts. Well, the unit itself comes with more than enough to keep you going for at least a little while. I did buy some more filters because I do like to keep my machine nice and clean. A nozzle for going on the machine itself. There's a filter just inside there. These little black ones here. Got some replacement nozzles of varying sizes, which will be handy depending on what work you're doing, as the best fitting size nozzle will give you the best suction. Some cleaning rods, another longer cleaning rod, and replacement couple of springs and another tube. So let's sum up my experiences over the last 6 months of using this. And let me start with the things that I don't like. Well, the list for things that I don't like is pretty short, to be fair. I think compared to some of the more upmarket, more expensive models, which makes changing tips very easy, this one you've got to unscrew the end and take the nozzle out and swap it. And obviously, if the gun's hot, you've got to be careful or wait for the gun to cool down. But even that said, I've only used the one nozzle. I don't do stuff that varies with different sized holes and things to work on. That one nozzle works fine for me. So even though it's a real faff if you do need to change the nozzle, I'm not working in a professional environment and most of the things that I'm doing is all the same. I suppose the other thing is, the gun, I suppose, does feel a little bit cheap. It doesn't feel bad and it fits nice in the hand, but with the plastic construction. But even then, you could argue that that's a plus point because it keeps the weight down. It's very easy to hold in the hand. Nice positive action on the trigger. So I'm not even sure if that's a negative. It is criticised by some people for being difficult to clean and get the chamber out, but it really isn't difficult at all. So let's talk about the things that I like. The first things first, in answering the questions at the beginning of the video, it really does do the job that's asked of it. It really, really is very good at clearing the holes out. I've nothing to compare it with because this is my only gun, but it does exactly what I want. I put it on, give it a couple of seconds, pull the trigger and the hole's clear. On rare occasion, I'll go back because it hasn't cleared it all and reapply it, give it a couple more seconds of heat and bang, the hole's clear. So it really does a good job of clearing those holes in the PCB. The second thing I really like is the price. I could not afford a Hakko unit which would be 5, 6, 7 times the price. It's just way beyond my budget. And you could argue that it's a different market for a more specialist professional role where, I don't know, you need to be swapping out the nozzles quick, or maybe it's easier to clean out the solder collector. I don't know. But is it going to clear the holes any better than what this does for me? Well, considering this does clear the holes, I don't know how you could say otherwise. Another thing I really like about this thing is spare parts are really cheap and they're easy to come by. I think you could say that this desoldering unit really comes under the 80-20 principle. You get 80% of the performance of a professional unit for 20% of the cost. The bottom line is, if you're a bit of a hobbyist like me and you do a bit of through-hole work, then I think you could do a lot worse than using one of these. So that's my thoughts and opinions of this desoldering station, having used it for a while now. Feel free to add a comment of your thoughts and experiences if you've got one of these, especially if you disagree with me. I'm always keen to learn. But in the meantime, if you've enjoyed watching and you've got this far, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of this, then please consider subscribing. But that all said, I wish you well, and I will hopefully see you in another video soon. Bye for now.